Hello everybody, my name is Kevin Nix, and welcome back to NASCAR Mailbox. Shane van Gisbergen took home the win this past weekend at the Charlotte ROVAL. It is his 5th win of 2025, and he won by over 15 seconds over the second place man, so it was another win on a road course for SVG. With that said though, this week's question raises an interesting point. Even though SVG dominated, that was probably the most mortal he has looked since the beginning of the year on a road course. And I tend to agree. And I do not think it is SVG getting worse. I think the rest of the field has elevated their performance to match his level. Or I shouldn't say match, because he still leaps and bounds ahead, but the rest of the field is definitely elevating their craft. They're elevating their skill to the point where he is real. It no longer might be a slam dunk that SVG is going to win the race. We know AJ Allmendinger talked about it in the bullpen before the race. Michael McDowell said the same thing. They are very motivated by SVG's dominance on road courses. They want to do better. They want to raise their skills and their racecraft to contend for the win on merit. And we saw that for the first time this past weekend. Kyle Larson and Christopher Bell both contended with SVG late. Larson in particular. SVG definitely still had the best car, but you can tell Larson, he improved. He got better. He was banging doors with SVG for a while in Stage 3, and that battle was very entertaining. It was personally the highlight, my personal highlight of the race, was watching Larson and SVG go at it at the front of the field. I can tell that the skill has improved, the racecraft has improved, and just across the board in the entire field. And that is something you can attribute to SVG. It takes dominance in something to be a motivator, and I do believe that. You need to beat the best to be the best. That is true in all sports, and I think on road courses, the other drivers are incredibly motivated to win, to beat SVG at his own game, and to take that advantage away from him. So I think it's because so many drivers have really pushed hard to get better. And Larson talked about it in his post-race interview, where he says SVG has made the field better at road courses, and I think that is something to be celebrated. I think SVG has done a lot of good for the sport. Obviously, he dominates anything related to a road course these days, but it makes the field better, it makes the drivers more complete, and yeah, like the question said, this was the most mortal he has looked, and I think it's speaks to SVG's dominance that we are talking about him potentially losing one road course race next year. That is a given that he's going to win most of them. That's just how good he is on lefts and rights. But a testament to the rest of the field too, that they are determined as athletes to beat him. And so SVG is really good for the sport. I think his domination has made the rest of the field better, and we saw that for the first time this past weekend. Or even though SVG took home the win, it was not a cakewalk like the previous races were. And that is something to be celebrated. Thank you all for watching this week's edition of NASCAR Mailbox. My name is Kevin Nix. We are racing in Las Vegas Motor Speedway with the NASCAR Cup Series and the NASCAR Xfinity Series, the first race of the round of 8 for both.
Hi everybody, Tom Bowles from Frontstretch. Good journalism isn't free. It takes time, resources, and dedication. We at Frontstretch are proud of all the motorsport stories that we do and want to be able to keep offering them to everyone without going to a subscription model. That's where we need help from those who have not only the passion for motorsports, but also the means to potentially help out an independent journalism outlet. If 400 people stopped right now and gave us $10, we'd be able to fund all our travel to all the racetracks that we cover for a month and bring you all these great videos that you see here every week. So if you love us, our reporters, our content, please consider a donation at frontstretch.com/donate. We're thankful for everyone's support, and we take seriously the privilege of bringing quality, unbiased motorsports coverage to all of you sitting there at home.